Hello, I will show you the new feature that lets you cut the mesh with a cutting plan here. This new feature is very interesting because it is much more clear than before to use the plan for cutting the mesh. First of all, you can see that the three main axes are visible and are represented by a red line here, and the zero on this axis corresponding to zero of the grid is shown by a red point here. When you want to place precisely your cutting plan along this axis, you can here, for example, choose to put it in the middle of the object at the max position, and when you change here the value, you can see here the real position of the plan along the axis, the red axis. So, for example, if you put the max value and then change your position, you can here reduce, for example, and here you can see that the plan is at 2 centimeters from the end of the shoes. Another very interesting and new feature, you can move directly the plan using the mouse. So, for example, if you want to add a cutting line here, just place the plan here, and if you press the shift key, you can see here that the position is magnetized on all millimeters. With control key it's every 5 millimeters, and with control plus shift key it's every 25 millimeters. So I just press the shift key to have entire millimeter. I can also at that time apply to create the cutting line. But something which is very new also in that version is that you can here rotate the cutting plan like this, and you can see here the axis that is changing for the angle. And so if I want to rotate, I also can press shift key, so you can see the angle is magnetized on the unit, control on 5 degrees, and control plus shift is 15 degrees. Once it is okay, you can apply to the mesh. You can also, of course, rotate on the other direction if you want. So, for example, suppose you want to here to, for example, this, because the shoes is not symmetrical, we can rotate a bit the angle, maybe a bit more, let's say 280 or 275, and we can see here that the cutting plan is in place. Sorry. And I can now apply to the mesh, and you can see here all the cutting line. I maybe would like to add a vertical cutting plan on 0, for example, and now I have all these lines present here on the shoe. I remind you that we can also convert these lines to basic curves, and so this is the calculation of these lines. you can see now all these new lines, and the basic curves can be modified. For example, I can remove these points and also this one. I press delete key to remove this part, and so you can see now your shoe is ready to cut.